Hello and welcome. My name is Cherry and today I'm sharing a wonderful way of ink blending a one-layer card. So let's get started. For today's project, I am going to use the Better Than Email stamp set. This is a 4x6 stamp set and I love the fullness of the stamp set. You really don't need anything else other than this set. So I went ahead and stamped that down to a white color cardstock that I trimmed down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and I'm using VersaFine ink here. And initially I wanted to go in with my watercolor pencils, but I changed my mind later down the road and I realized I made a mistake, but I'll go ahead and share the details of that a little later. So I went ahead and stamped that down. I did have to do that a few times to make sure I got a good impression. Okay, and I also went ahead and stamped the same image down onto masking paper, and I'm using my fussy cutting scissors to trim each of the letters out. And I know this is a little tedious work, but I assure you that it will pay off. So just a little patient here, but the payoff is worth it. Okay, so here are all the pieces of masking paper that I trimmed out. It did take a long time, I have to admit, but I'm going in and I'm starting to mask off the areas that I don't want ink to cover. So if you guys aren't familiar with the masking technique, what essentially it's doing is it's masking the areas that you don't want any ink or any colors to get over or onto. So here I'm trying to make sure all of the letters are covered because I want to go ahead and ink blend the areas around it. You'll get a better idea in a little bit. So now I'm going in with my blending buddy, and I love this brush because it makes blending ink so fabulous. It's so easy to blend. And I'm going in with some of the Captain Puller design ink pads, and I started off first with a green color, and I'm blending that on the top of the card panel. And after I was done using the green colored ink, I went in with a dark blue, and I'm using Juniper Mist, and I blended that alongside the green colored ink. And right after that, I switched over to my purple blending buddy, and I went in with Queen for the Day ink pad, and I blended that towards the bottom of the cardstock. Making sure to go back in each color and blending in between the colors to make sure that you have a smooth finish. Okay, so before I remove the masking paper, I wanted to add a little bit of splatter paint. So going in with my paintbrush and white paint, I splatter that throughout the card panel. Okay, so now this is my favorite part. It is time to remove all of the masking paper. And as you can see here, all of the areas that we covered with the masking paper does not have ink on it. I don't know what it is. It just makes my heart happy seeing this. Okay, so now it's time to add some color onto the overall card design. And I made a mistake here because the ink that I used earlier to stamp the image onto the cardstock is not meant for alcohol marker. So as I was using alcohol marker, I started noticing that the ink was bleeding, and that's when I realized that I need to switch up the coloring medium. So I then switched it over to color pencils. So here you can see that I'm using my polychromos and I'm coloring all of the letters in. Well, not all of the letters, but just the part that says email, and I also colored in the banner. Okay, so after I colored everything in, I went ahead and put the card panel back into my stamping platform. Then going in with the same ink pad that I used earlier to stamp the stamp down, I re-inked the stamp and stamped it over the colored image. This is just intensifying the dark black area to make it stand out a little more. And here you can see the difference that the additional of the black ink added to the card panel. Okay, so now I went in and I'm using liquid adhesive and I'm adhering it to a top folding card base in the color white. And that pretty much completes my card. I hope you found some inspiration in this tutorial, and please don't forget to leave a comment and hit the subscribe button to get notified for any future videos. Okay, until next time, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye bye.